Hello, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Hello, Sandra.
Hello.
Hey, welcome to Three Things Live. We're so happy to have you here. We hope you've had a good weekend.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
we
and
had
it's
sunshine
beautiful outside.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes,
we
it's been
are
nice.
here for all of that.
Yes.
So we're happy to have you here with us. Welcome to Three Things Live, where theme number 1 is something to smile about, theme number 2 is something to learn, and theme number 3 is something to discover.
Let's go.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kris here at my girlfriend's quilt shop, and I'm happy to welcome you to Three Things Live. Wow, well, this week we have such a treat for all of you because it's something that so many have been asking us about, saying, would you show us how to make a bag? And it's not just any bag we're doing this week. It's the Cheri Poppins bag. I wonder who designed that.
It's probably Sandra.
Hey, I'll take credit for it if you don't want it.
So cute. But, you
Sure.
know, oftentimes we get asked about, making bags, and doing it on one show would be really hard, wouldn't it?
It would.
Yeah.
There's a lot of parts to cover. It's very doable.
Yes.
But it just is step by step.
Step by step, exactly. And so that's our goal this week, is we're going to try something a little bit different, where each show this week is going to be geared towards a different part of making the same bag. Now, I want to issue this challenge. If you've never made a bag, or if you still feel very uncertain, definitely tune in. Even if this is the bag you're not going to make. Like, if you're going to make
But we
it
think
great,
it might be.
I think it might be, because it was way too fun. But if it's not, or if you go, no, I'm out, I don't want to do a bag, it's okay. Like, still tune in, because there's lots of techniques and things that you're going to learn this week that will help you in any project,
Yes.
right?
Yes, it will.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
mean, we're doing some binding, we're doing some
Yes.
quilting, we're doing
We're doing
all
a
kinds
zipper.
of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how many of you done zippers on the back of your pillows? Okay,
Right.
and this could even help with something like that.
That's so true. You
Yeah.
could definitely do something like this with that too. So there's a lot of techniques that you're going to be learning this week. And at the end of the week, you're going to be ready to take on that new handbag of yours. And the hardest part is going to be, which fabric do I choose? Because it's all so cute, right?
No, the hardest part's going to be, how many bags do I stop at?
Yeah, right.
When does it become an addiction?
Yes, it does. Making bags becomes a big addiction. I agree on that one,
Exactly.
Cheri.
So Deb is in the comments saying she loves making bags.
Yeah,
She's
see?
right there with you, Sandra. You are a huge bag maker, aren't you?
I've made a few.
How many would you guess?
Oh gosh, I would say at least over 20
Really?
different kinds,
Different
all different
kinds.
bags. Yes,
Well, I've seen
from
your-
small ones to
I've
big
seen
ones.
some of those that you have done.
Yeah.
And they are incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
They're fun.
You know, the really cool thing is when you can make a bag and it doesn't look handmade.
Right.
And there's some definite tricks and tips that we have that's going to help you to just kind of, make it go up a level.
Right.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Jill says, oh, yay, I am the bag lady. Sheila loves bags, and her daughters call her the bag lady as well. And
We're among friends then.
that's right. And Donna said she loves anything that you make, Cheri.
Aw, thanks,
There you
Donna.
go. We do too. So it comes as no surprise that we asked Cheri to put together a brand new pattern for all of us, and it is very fittingly named the Cheri Poppins Bag. And I have to give a shout out to Fern, because she's the one who said, we were trying to come up with a name, and she's like, how about Cheri Poppins? And she was just kidding, and we were like, I love it, that's perfect.
It needs
I
to
was
be
not like that. I was like,
It needs to be just a little bit bigger
Yes.
for like
For
a
Mary
Poppins.
Poppins
Yeah.
bag.
well,
Yeah.
her bag is not big. It's just practically perfect.
Oh, in every
There you
way.
go.
In
There you go.
every
That's
way.
it. That's it.
Exactly. So, Peggy says in the comments that she loves making bags. It's her favorite thing to do in between quilts for a quick break. And I would definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to just try something a little bit different. In fact, I made the Cheri Poppins bag this weekend. And I really enjoyed myself because it was a break from all the machine embroidery I was doing and the quilting and everything else. It's like, oh, I haven't done one of these for a while. This is kind of fun. So I think you're going to really enjoy it. So stay with us Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of this week, and we're going to take you step by step and help you with making the Cheri Poppins bag.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
And I'm here all week.
Yes, yes, I love that even more. So before we get started though, for theme number 1, we've been thinking, all right, let's do a little play off of words. And of course, this week it's all about making the bags, right? So we decided this is gonna be kind of scary. I'm just telling you.
Well, also, Kris, if you think about it, you never know what Mary Poppins is going to pull out of her bag. Now, do you?
Exactly. And
So,
you never
with that,
know what's
you're
going to
just
be
like,
pulled out of this bag right here. So, Abby was given the assignment that she had to.
Are you guys scared for us?
exactly.
I'm scared for me because we got to compete against Cheri, and that's not easy. She has put something in this bag, and we have no idea what it is.
Unless we peeked.
Did you
Oh,
peek?
did you peek?
No.
I don't know if I trust her. I don't know. But supposedly we have to pull it out of the bag, and we each have to decide what we would do with this item, and it has to be sewing related.
Are we ready?
I have no idea
like
what
a-
she
I-
said.
It's like
Yeah.
a magic bag
And
here.
if you're at home watching, I want to hear in the comments what you think you would make. And maybe I'll sneak over and look at the comments and go, oh, yeah, that's what I was going to do too. Right? I'm not a fool. All right, let's go ahead and see what's in here. Oh, geez. Okay.
Is there just one? Oh,
Oh, no. We've got,
a monster
monster
truck.
truck.
Monster truck.
okay. All right.
And what's with
What
it?
is, a turtle.
Oh, a turtle.
A turtle.
Oh.
Oh, we're each
These-
supposed to have our own, supposedly. And a gnome. I'll take the gnome. Which one do you want, Cheri?
I want the turtle.
Of course, of course.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Okay. This is when we need the music. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. So, who wants to go first? I'll go first.
You go first? All right.
Yeah. So again, remember it has to be sewing related. You've got to figure out how you're going to do something with this object that we had just seen like 10 seconds ago.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say I would use it as, oh, it's too hard. I was going to say a pincushion, a pattern weight. Does that work? It's a cute pattern weight, right? So when you're cutting out a pattern or a template and you need to put weights at each of the edges, who doesn't want a little gnome, right? to do that. I mean,
Keep
you
you
might as well
company.
be cute. He would keep me company, yes. So
Does he have a
Just-
name?
does he have a name? I don't know. Does he have a name? Let me think on that.
Christy's perfect. I love Christy's.
Christy! That's right. Oh, I totally was going to say that. Yeah, Christy, you and I are on the same page.
for the
perfect.
same.
Yeah, woo, Christy, way to
Christy said she
go.
would use the gnome hat to poke out corners. That's brilliant. That is
Yes. Yes.
All right. Okay. Let's see. Oh, a small stiletto.
no,
Damn it!
I love this. You guys are,
Okay.
thank you.
Cheri, you're next.
All right. Well, first of all, I was thinking of the stiletto when I saw the gnome, and I was like, does my turtle have a stiletto? And yes, he does. He has a tail stiletto.
Oh, that's getting really close. Your fingers are getting
Yeah,
really close.
he's
to the needle stuff.
multifunctional because he
Okay.
also is like, am I doing a good job? And his little head goes, yes, I am.
So he's your affirmation
Yes,
turtle?
my little affirmation turtle, my positive. And should I choose this fabric? No, not that one. So it's kind of like Magic 8-Ball meets my sewing notion.
But also, when you make bags, it's not a fast process.
Oh, this is
No.
true.
It
Good
is not a
job.
fast
No.
process. So a turtle, it reminds you that you need to go a
Slow
little
and-
bit
slow and
slower.
steady.
Slow
Slow
it
and steady
down
wins
and
the
just kind of
race.
This is
take
the
it
positive
easy.
affirmation turtle.
I
Hey,
love that.
you're welcome, Cheri.
Cheri, does it have a name?
Yes.
What is his name?
Pokey.
Pokey. Okay. All
Okay.
right, there you go. Okay, Sandra, you're next.
Okay. Well, I got this little monster trick. And first of all, he's got his mouth opens and closes like
That's
this.
cool.
So I think about that as alligator clips.
Oh.
Okay, and so you use a lot of the clover clips and that. And so that is what I would do with this one. So he's gonna get.
Oh, I'm sure he's going to hold on really
yeah.
tight.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Also.
Okay, go
Okay,
ahead.
also, monster tricks. And
Yes.
as Kris has said, I have made some absolutely monstrous bags.
Yes, you have. Yes.
That actually carry a lot of stuff. And so that reminds me of making, a monster bag.
Mm-hmm.
And I like what Nancy said on there about doing a racetrack. And you could
Yes.
use it to carry all of your monster trucks in your bag.
There you go.
I don't know.
Well, Linda has a good idea. You could use the tires
To press your seat.
seams.
That's awesome. Thank you.
That is a really good
I
idea.
thought maybe you'd give it to the grandkids so they wouldn't bug you, so that you could keep sewing.
That doesn't work. I have tons of these at home, and they're still right there pushing my pins down into my
Oh,
pincushion and all that kind of fun
okay,
stuff.
well,
So-
thanks, Abby.
okay,
for the,
yeah, thanks a lot,
the
Abby.
little challenge that we had here. This should be interesting. All week long, we have something that's coming out of a bag that we have a challenge for. So
And they're different.
And they're all
week.
different,
It's
yes.
not always this.
No.
Okay.
Tomorrow's a totally different thing. Fern's on. She said measuring fabric with the trick. How many times do the wheels go around?
I'm not counting it, but yeah.
So great.
do project
Okay,
stuff for
I
them,
love
too.
it.
Yeah.
Well, very, very fun.
Did you name your gnome?
Oh, I was so enthralled in what you guys were doing that I completely. Did you say yours was pointy?
Pokey.
Pokey. Well, mine's pokey too.
Is that T-O-O or T-W-O?
Maybe
Pokey
his-
too.
Pokey too. Maybe he's called Edo for like a stiletto, but he's Edo.
Edo?
Edo. There
Edo.
you go. I don't know. Hey,
Hi,
Abby.
Abby.
She's on? Oh my goodness, that girl.
She says
said
it's a pencil sharpener.
that gnome is. Oh, it's a pencil sharpener. Oh, it is? Oh, on the other side. I'm like, that doesn't look like a pencil sharpener to me. Okay, well then.
Sorry, your gnome is broken.
Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, well, sorry, Abby, I don't know if I can get that hat back on.
And you
but
can sharpen your
there we go.
pens and your pencils
all the
and
things.
your...
Exactly.
Well, he's got some chalk type stuff in it.
Yeah, he
Is that
does.
from the?
I don't know.
Maybe that's to mark a mark.
Maybe I could mark something.
Yeah.
Hey, Jill has a good idea. Jerome the gnome.
There you go.
I
There
like
you go.
Jerome. That's cute. That's way cute. Well,
Yep.
very fun. This is one of those lessons in stupid creativity.
Productive thinking.
Productive thinking.
There we go. There we
There
go.
you go.
There we go.
Yeah,
That
I don't
sounds
know.
more talented.
Well, too fun. All right, everyone. You never know what's going to happen here, so we're here for it, right?
Absolutely.
And Cheri, you're here all week with us, taking us again step by step on how to do this brand new bag, the Cheri Poppins bag, and we can't wait for you to see it. We're going to show it to you right after this. This is what we would call reverse applique. The petals are actually cut through the background fabric,
Right.
and you're putting the fabric on
Right.
the back, which seems a little different. So tell us how do we do this?
Freezer paper is magic. I've decided we're going to use this size, cut it perfectly on the line. Press the shiny side onto the back of your fabric.
Okay.
So the next thing you're going to do is cut about a ½ inch from that circle right there.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be perfect. So you can see she's cut out the center here, but we can't, there's no way you could get this to roll back and give you a nice finished
So I've got to cut slits.
So you're going to cut slits, but you're going to cut them all the way to the edge.
Really?
Of the paper. Don't cut
Really?
your paper all the way to the edge.
Wow,
And
here
she's
we
going to
go.
press that back. So this is a little bit bigger. As long as it fits over that, you're going to be good.
Okay, you can see here that I've got the zigzag. Okay, that is fun.
See how easy that is?
That really is.
Hi, Sandra.
Hey, Cheri, thank you for inviting me to help you make this bag.
I'm excited. I knew you were a bag maker, and I'm like, oh, Sandra's got to sew this. It'll be fantastic. So I'm excited you're here.
Yeah, thank you.
And let's show off this bag a little bit.
Yeah,
So
let's-
this is the Cheri Poppins bag, and so we have, this is the one Sandra did right here. Look how cute with all of those fabrics. And we have, this is the one that Kris did right here. And then Fern actually did this one. So we have the 3 different colors options that we're going to be selling, but we wanted to show you something right off the bat. So they have fusible fleece that comes in the kit, but this bag here, Kris took it a little over the top and used Kimberbell's Flexi Foam. So we just want to show you, like, kind of when you look at them, that's the stability. I love using Flexi Foam in bags.
Yes,
It just stands up to the test of time.
it does.
But this fusible fleece is also kind of fantastic. It's really easy to work with. So that's kind of the first thing we want to talk about, is just that there's a little bit of a difference there. So let's jump into how to put this together, because we have a zipper coming up today that's going to take us just a minute. So we want to push to it a little bit.
Because in reality, I think that in making bags, zippers are usually one of the hardest things that people struggle with.
Yeah.
I will say that.
But I
So-
think it's very doable.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So don't be intimidated by it. If we lost you a zipper, come back. Come
Yes.
back. Because we got you on this one. So the first thing that you're going to do with your bag is just do your quilting. So it's basically a fat quarter, and you can quilt this any way you want. What is your favorite way to quilt?
Well, I like to do it as you noticed with my bag.
Mm-hmm.
I did kind of a quilting where it's just lines, especially on a bag like this.
Yeah, just
now,
a small bag.
if I'm doing other things, then I would quilt it a little bit different. But this one I did with lines, and so
Mm-hmm.
I used actually my guide on my machine. Your line guide. What are these called, Cheri? Just a
That's
guide.
a quilting bar guide.
Yeah.
But you're so on the Solaris, and it has
Yeah.
one.
Yes.
So you're able to
Yes.
put that out there, and it works
Yes.
super fantastic.
Yeah, it helps keep your line straight and your distance away from each one of them the same, and so that works really well. I know a lot of people will take their fabric like that and do it all at once, like on a long arm.
Yes. So that's
so-
what this was done on. Fern actually did this one for me, and she did it on her long arm. And so she did enough for 3 or 4 bags. So,
Yeah.
it makes it really quick. You put it on, you load it once, you get it all done. So if you have a long arm, that's a great option. Even if you're just practicing on your long arm and you're like, what do I do with all this fabric after I practice?
And you definitely could use it for a bag.
Yes. So that's a good option.
And I think it depends on how much the quilting is going to stand out. You know,
Yeah.
like on this one, you can see that it just kind of blends in with the fabric.
Yeah.
But with mine, you can see that you can actually see the quilting on it. You
Yeah.
can see the design.
Yeah.
So I think that depends on how you're going to use the quilting also.
Okay.
Okay.
So another handy thing for quilting is this right here. This is your, for the Altair, this is the digital dual feed. And so it has kind of this little belt right here. It looks kind of like an upside down snowmobile type of thing.
Yeah, it kind of does.
So this track, when you hook this up to your machine, you plug it in, it will roll the fabric. So your feed dogs are rolling it from the back or from underneath, and this is rolling from the top. And so your fabric stays together really, really well as you're running it through with a straight edge or a straight line quilting. So I highly recommend either the digital dual feed, or if your machine has a walking foot. It's
Any
the
kind
same
of a
thing.
walking foot.
Yep, and the walking foot kind of does the same thing. It kind of goes up and down and like grabs it and pulls.
Yep.
So it just is a little bit different in how it works.
Especially when you're working with the 3 layers.
Yes, yeah. When
So
you get
because
that,
you want to sandwich your top, your fleece, or your soft and stable flexi foam, whatever that is. You want to sandwich the 3 of them together.
Yes.
And then quilt it.
Yep. And the other thing I wanted to show you is just the quilting bar. And this is like your ankle on your machine, and this just goes in there. And so then it allows you to adjust this. So maybe you want your seams to be this far apart, or maybe you want them a little bit closer. So you're able to slide that through there. And there's different kind of shapes of these, but that's kind of how they work, is that they just have a little thing on the back there of the ankle that will help kind of do those. And it kind of, I mean, it will go out there quite a ways.
Yeah,
So,
a good couple, 2 or
yeah,
3 inches.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a great guide. So if you don't have a laser or a guide on your machine, it's another tool to use. So
Yeah.
I'm going to give that to you because we're gonna sew a little bit in just a minute.
Okay.
So we have your fabric all quilted, and I'm going to move those just a little bit. And the next thing you need to do is trim it down. Now we give you the dimensions. It's a little bit bigger because as you quilt, it's going to shrink just a little bit. And so that's why you're going to be like, well, why did I cut it bigger? Why don't I just cut it the size? So just do that and then bring it in. Okay, so we've cut this one down right here, and it is the size that we need for our bag. And I have this is my front fabric, and this is my back fabric. Okay, so it's all quilted. I'm just gonna fold it in half, and I have, on this one already, I have gone and I have stitched around the edge. When you're making a bag, a lot of times you'll hear this, either seal the edges or put it down, because it just saves some frustration later when you're adding a binding or you're putting in a seam and that fabric flips up a little bit. If you'll just kind of remember to always kind of go around your pieces as you create them, then you won't reach that at the end. You won't get to the end and go, oh, that little piece is not where I want it. So that kind of will help you. That's just a
Or you could
tip.
serge it.
Yep, or you can serge it, which is a great option. Just hit your serger, serge those edges. So we're just gonna fold this in half. And what we have for our piece is we have a piece that is 2 inches this direction by 2 1/4. And you're like, when I box a bag, I just do it just
Square.
Just square. But we are going to sew one seam, but we're not going to sew a seam across the bottom.
Because you've got that on your fold,
Yeah.
so you have to incorporate that in and eliminate that seam.
Yes.
So
So that's why if you had already sewed the sides, it would just be a 2 by 2. So we're gonna just, for kind of purposes here, I drew a stitch line, because that shows if I was doing this, eventually this stitch line will continue up. But what I want to do is just make sure that I have enough to incorporate my stitch line, and then I'm just going to cut that. And you can cut it with your cutter, or you can cut it with scissors, however you want to do it. Let's just do it with scissors. I think we'll be good. You can draw it first, makes it kind of nice, but we just go in there, go right to there. We're gonna come back this way. Okay. So there is my basically my 2-inch square, but it's 2 1/4. This piece you don't need, you can throw it away. And then here is our second one. We'll just incorporate that right there on the fold, on the edge, and cut it. So at this point, we are ready to just set this aside. And on your pattern, you would actually go to another step. But today we are going to go to the zippers because we want to get them out of the way. So we're eating that elephant first, getting it done. So we set this aside, and we're going to talk about the zippers. So a couple things on the zippers that are really helpful. Kimberbell fusible backing. I like to add this to my zippers because they're just going to get a little bit more movement, a little bit more wear and tear, some tugging, some pulling, and this just helps stabilize your fabric around the zipper.
It's for the fabric around your zipper, not the zipper itself.
Yeah, not the zipper itself. Yes, that fabric right there. So, and then the other tool I'm going to be using is my hot hammer.
That is a go-to for me all the time.
Yeah, and we're going to use it a couple times on this just to show you how that works. I love the hot hammer. It is a fabric type of material,
Consistency,
almost like, you know, it has some bend, has some give, but it has all of these lines on here so that you can fold over your fabric and you can press it right on the hot hammer.
Yes.
And what's nice about it is it has a little bit of grip so it doesn't slide, and it is very thin so it doesn't add that bulk into that fold over that you're getting down and pressing. The other thing is that this is for if you are using this to do mitered corners, this line is to set up your mitered corners, which we won't be using that, but that's what that line is for, is mitered corners.
Yep.
Okay. So we are going to start with a fabric zipper strip is what we're calling this. Okay, so this is your big long piece of fabric.
Sure, show them where that's used.
Where the zipper.
Show
So
'em
it
how
is
this-
going to go right here in the top. Our
ins-
zipper is going to be installed, and then with our fabric zipper strip is where we will be able to put that into the binding. So it will open up, and at the end we have just this little bit of a tab here that will allow it to open up even a little bit more so that we can
Get into
get
our bag.
into our bag a little bit easier, okay? So we've got that, our fabric strip, and then we're going to put our fusible on it. So this one's got the fusible already on it. And at this point, I would take it to the iron, and we are going to press each of these ends up 1/4 inch. Do you want to go do that, Sandra?
Sure.
1/4 inch on each end, and it's kind of already in the middle. So on the zipper strips, don't be intimidated by them, I guess. You're like, oh, this is really long. This is probably the hardest part of the bag, I would say, is this, but I don't think it's really hard. It's just like, what am I doing
A little
here?
bit more challenging than the other parts.
Yeah, yep. So you can see how that hot hammer just makes it so you can press right on top of it. That is, if you don't have a hot hammer, they also come in all different like shapes and sizes. There's some that have rounded corners. There's just all different kinds of, there's longer ones, shorter ones. And then we're just gonna fold that in half. All right, we've got that coming back. So you're gonna make 2 of these because we're gonna need 1 on each side of the zipper. So we have 1 for the next step and 1 there. So we have our 2 fabric zipper strips. And on our first step, we're just gonna open one of them up. And this always sounds a little bit hard, a little bit confusing because you're going to place it right side up. And you're like, but I need my zipper on the back. Trust the process on this one. So we place it right side up, and we're going to put the zipper on it. And so we're gonna come here. We have like magic, you know how when you're watching those TV shows and they put stuff in the oven? Ding, this one's done now. So we have our zipper strip. So we have our long zipper here and our zipper strip. So don't, like, just kind of pay attention to that. We call it the fabric zipper strip and then the zipper. So we line this up with the raw edges of the zipper and the raw edges of the fabric zipper strip on the right. And if you see, when we line this up, it goes beyond our center fold. So right here. So this is probably the tricky part.
It is.
And you're gonna be like, well, that's not that hard. So we have, here it is, there's our zipper strip. But we need to take care of this because we want to, A, make it so our zipper pull does not fall off the edge, and B, that this ends right at the end of our fabric zipper strip. So I'm gonna take this and I'm just going to get my positive turtle affirmation and I'm going to pull it to the side and say, turtle, does that look good now? And he says, yes, yes it does.
Well, the biggest thing you need to do is you need to make sure that that metal stop is out of the way,
Yes.
totally out of the way, so your needle doesn't hit it.
You've speaking from experience now.
Yeah, probably so, yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
yes, because the needle, yeah, this will break your needle.
That will break your needle.
Yeah. But so if we just pull it out of the way, so we have a little bit of room to work with here. If you have a really long zipper, I happen to have a really long zipper on this one. You just
You
need
got
a 12
plenty
inch,
to work with.
Plenty to work with. So we pull it over.
The zipper pull. Is it up or down?
Oh, the zipper pull. The zipper pull is down. So the pull right now is down. The teeth are down. So we're gonna show you where that's at. We've got that right there. And we're just pulling it out of the way because we also don't want this in the way as we sew it.
Right.
Okay?
So it's basically right sides together.
Yep, exactly. Right sides together on this part. So we're gonna pin this over here a little bit, and then we are going to sew this right after so that's in place, and we're just gonna pull this top part and pull it right over this. So now I have a fold, and then I have, so basically my zipper just became sandwiched underneath between my two zipper fabric strips, okay? So we've got that there, and we are just gonna sew a 1/4 inch. Now, I like to do this with my zipper foot on. I think it makes it a little bit easier to do that, but you can do it with just your regular foot. Either one will work. So because you're not really, really close to those zipper teeth. So don't go over the pull because we've been able to pull it out of the way, and don't go over that little ending zipper clamp. Okay, so we're gonna hand this over to Sandra, and she is going to.
Okay. So you could do this in 2 steps. You can put the zipper on first.
Yep, you can.
If you're uncomfortable with it, that's probably what I would recommend. Then that way you can make sure and get that on there straight. But I'm going to do it all in 1 step. So what she's done here is folded that over the top, and I'm going to line up my zipper foot right here with the edge of my fabric.
Yep. And the zipper foot is attached, as you're looking at it, it's on the left, because the zipper has kind of two
two
things.
sides.
Yep.
You can move that zipper foot left or right, either direction. And so I've made it so that it's all over to the right side, so that will follow the line on the edge of my fabric right here. And I'm gonna do a little reverse here.
A little back stitch, and then we don't want to run over that pin.
And then we're gonna, okay, I'm gonna take that out. And do you have a stiletto by Annie by any chance in there?
I do. There it is.
And so I'm gonna use this stiletto that just kind of helps guide my fabric. As you can see, I'm gonna use that to guide
I also
there.
have my turtle.
And your turtle is working very well. I'm
Well,
going to
you could
turn my
use
speed up a little
my
bit.
stiletto turtle.
There we go. And I'm going to pull some of these pins out here. Okay, and as we do this, we just want to make sure that our fabrics are straight. There we go.
Another thing is that zipper is just gonna come out of the bottom. Like, you're gonna be like, that's just kind of weird. That's gonna allow us to open our bag a little bit more. You could end it there, but then your bag wouldn't open as much. So that's why we do this method where it just continues out the bottom.
And just a backup stitch here for a second. And we're done. Okay. All right, Cheri, there you go.
All right, there we go. Okay, and now we are just gonna open this up. And first we're gonna clip this off. We're done with this. I'm gonna get the scissors that maybe aren't the nicer scissors because we're gonna cutting through those teeth right there. You can clip this a little bit more if you want. It's got that little bit of a zipper pull in there. And then we are just going to turn it right side out. And the thing that's nice about this now is that you actually have the zipper to help kind of pull.
Yep, pull
just
that,
gently.
pull your seam out a little bit,
Pull your seam
make
out
it
a little bit
flat.
more. And so it makes it kind of nice just to do that. So we're just gonna go along there, pulling that out, pulling our seam out, and then we're gonna give it just a little press, and then we will do a little bit of a top stitch.
So let's take this back over here, and we're gonna just fold this back a little bit, and I'm going to press that. On both sides, I like to go and make sure that it's straight on both sides.
And make sure that it's not, it shouldn't be super, super close to your teeth. Definitely not in your teeth. If you've gotten into your teeth at all, I would unpick it at this point so that you're not fighting that all the time. But it should just be just that little ways away from your teeth, nice and flat. And now we're just gonna go and we're gonna top stitch all the way around here. So all three sides. If you want to do all four sides, you can, because that will just kind of tie that down, but I would keep this on your raw edges closer to an 1/8.
Closer to an 1/8.
Yep.
That's correct. Yep.
Yep. All right, do you want to top stitch that then?
Sure. All right, let's start this direction here. And I'm going to leave my zipper foot on there for a reason.
Because you get to that zipper, it's a little bit tricky.
Yep.
When you top stitch, I like to lengthen mine when I top stitch.
Okay.
Do you like to lengthen?
I do. Most
Okay.
of mine are like 3 to 3.5.
Yep, that's about what I do.
So is that about what you want?
And I like that. It just makes it so you can see your stitches a little bit more. They don't sink down in quite as much. And it gives it just a nice top stitched look.
And then we're going to go one more. There we go.
And now you're like over halfway done with your zipper.
Yeah, because now you're just going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Okay, Cheri, there you go.
All right. Magic of TV, we got one right over here. You can kind of play with that.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, so we're gonna open up our second fabric zipper strip, and then we're just going to place this one right here. And you want your zipper pull at the middle, so it's gonna be at the middle thing. It does not matter if it is up or down necessarily.
Right.
It's easier to sew on the right, so it's probably gonna be right there, but your zipper pull is going to be at the middle. That's the big thing. Zipper pull at the middle. If you are want to sew it on the other hand, you can do that. So now I'm just gonna open up the zipper pull, and we've got it pinned already, so it's a little bit tricky. And the reason we do this is we are lining up the center fold with the top edge of this, the one that we already did. So we've got our center fold here, right there, and this is gonna lay right there right along that line. So here's our fold line, and this goes right here, and this zipper is going to extend beyond it because just like we just did, we're going to take that and fold it out to the side. So let's open this zipper up a little bit and be able to get it out of the way. And that's why I like installing this zipper this way, is because you're not having to go around your zipper pull, you're not having to kind of fight all of the things that you usually fight when you're installing a zipper.
And it's really nice because, like, you've noticed that Cheri's got a really long zipper, and that really gives you a lot of room to work with.
Yeah, you're able to pull it completely out of the way.
Yep.
So just like we did before, I'm going to take this, I'm going to just pull it to the right. I'm going to put like this little teeny tuck in here so that my zipper stays there, right like that, and pin that. And we are ready to sew this one down just like we did the other one. So we're going to fold the top down over it, right to there.
And then basically you're just going to do the exact same
Yep,
thing
we
that
are
we
gonna
just
do-
did on the other one. So, and
Exactly.
then when we're all said and done, our zipper is crazy. Okay.
So it says the zipper teeth on the second time are up. The first time they were down, and then on the bottom edge isn't lined up on the end that you started on. It's pretty lined up. You want to make sure that your top is lined up because you're folding the bottom edges. If you need to at that point go, oh, I'm either a little long or a little short, you can kind of play with those folds a little bit.
Yeah.
So
I think
you
that
have
you just play with that fold a little bit and it will line it right up. So yeah. On this part, Tammy, actually your zipper teeth are up,
Yep.
not down.
Yep.
So that is a little bit different from the other side, because the other side you've got your zipper with right sides together, but on this side, once you do that, your zipper teeth are actually up, and then when you put it in, it comes out just perfect.
Yep.
So yeah.
And the reasoning is we're just trying to keep all of your sewing on the right side because that's what most of us are used to.
Yes,
So,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, did
right.
you want me to go ahead and
Yeah, go ahead
do
and
this?
sew it.
All right. You're trusty, girl.
We're trusting you. When we were top stitching the other pieces, what she said, it's off a little bit, but it could be there.
I'm gonna get right up.
This
at
is
that
this is
top
the part
edge.
that you're gonna see.
Okay, so let's just. Yeah, I gotta get that top edge right there real quick here, Cheri. Oh, wait, can't do that. Well, yes, I can. It's not gonna show. All right.
I love that you did that because just by turning it around, it's like, oh, I didn't quite get to the top.
Yep, I didn't
do
quite
wanna
get
make
it at
sure-
the top,
You
so-
will do that top stitch around it, so it probably would have been okay, but that just secures it because that's going to take a
That's-
lot of wear and tear.
Yeah, it is. That's the part
Yeah.
right there. It's going to take a little bit more pressure as you're opening and closing your zipper.
So we just trim that off, and then we're able to turn this right side out, and then use this, again, your zipper, just to help kind of pull it out. And then we would just do the exact same thing where we just flattened it and top stitched it. So we're just going to zip this up just to show you what it looks like. So this one, there we go. I'm like, wait, it didn't work. Just kidding, it was twisted. So
There
that
we
is
go.
what your zipper will look like, right like that. So here's our pull up here. This comes down. We'll trim this and you'll have a little bit, like if you have a 12-inch zipper, you'll have about an inch. If you want it to go a little bit longer, you can probably go 2 or 3. I wouldn't do much more than that.
Yeah.
Because then it's just kind of flappy, but that will give you just room to open
Yeah,
that
you don't
up
want
in
to
your
cut
bag.
it. You don't want to cut it right next to your at the end back here. You don't want to cut it here. You want to leave yourself some room down here because you're going to put a little tab on the end of that.
Yep. And we will
So-
go over that on another
day. Yep.
So that is all we have for today. Remember to come back tomorrow because we are going to be going over other steps. So let's take a look at what we have to add to this bag coming up next.
We were challenged
Yes,
to
we
do
were.
something with a layer cake.
What we do first is we just make a cut, and then you're going to end up with these 2 pieces. We're going to just cut all of my fabrics, and then we sew them together, and we end up with something like this. We're going to cut it one more time, and I am just going to flip this over and kind of match up my middles, make it work. It was fine. So we have these all done. We're just going to take Kimberbell's project batting, and now we're going to do a decorative stitch. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to trim it.
Yeah.
It's all going to work out because you have a little bit of room here.
I just love the thought of all of these stacked so pretty in your sewing room before you put them together.
Right, welcome back everyone to Three Things Live. Hey, that was fun. I'm so excited for this week. Oh my goodness. You know, I had never installed a zipper that way. This was my first time. That was pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. When
it is.
when you get it all done, you're like, oh, and I love how it opens my bag because I'm
Yes.
able to open
Yes.
the bag up.
It wasn't so bad after all.
Yeah.
Like at first you're going, oh, that's a little tricky, but once you get it, oh my goodness, that was a really cool technique. That's what I love about, you know, when we do things like this, you're learning hopefully new techniques every time that can be implemented in so many different things. So, you know, you can't have a cute bag without a cute zipper pull, am I right? And so I thought I would share a quick tutorial on how to make a fabric zipper pull. And you can see right here that I've got this tied. You know, bows are all the rage right now.
They
so
are.
you might as well make a fabric bow to have as your zipper pull. Look how cute that would be on your bag, right? So how that's done is you're going to take a 6 by 9 inch piece of fabric that you can see right here. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in half and fold it in half one more time. Okay, so that I have a fold on the right, a fold along the bottom. Now, I'm going to be like super careful, and I'm going to actually cut out the bow template on its own. But I promise you, don't worry, we've got you covered. We have a template here that you can use if you'd like to do this at home. Or you could wing it like Kris's. Let's see. All right, I go about an inch in, and then I start coming around, and there we go.
Look at that.
Ta-da!
Wing it with Kris.
That looks pretty
It's pretty
not too
close.
bad. You know, you'd think I'd done a few or something. And it's gonna look something like this. So it looks almost like a bow tie, but not quite yet. What we're gonna do is we're gonna fold it in half with right sides together, and then you're gonna stitch a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way around, leaving an opening right here at the center, and then all the way around here. So once that has been stitched, all you have to do is turn it right side out of that center opening. And I've got one that looks like this.
Oh, you have an oven too.
I
Ding.
do have an oven, yes. And you can see that I had the opening right there. So all I'm gonna do is, I could either hand stitch this, but who's got time for that? I would just fold those, that opening edges in, and then I would just do a top stitch right there, because really this is part of the knot
It's gonna be
that's
hidden.
happening. It
What
is
about
gonna
a
be
little
hidden.
bit of Elmer's washable children's
You
glue?
you could, hey,
Yeah.
you could do hot glue, whatever you want to close that opening. All right.
Hot glue is not quite as pliable, but the other kind of fabric glue, any kind of
That's
fabric
right.
glue.
That's right. So then all you do, you might be thinking, well, Kris, how do you get that fabric through the zipper pull, because that's a lot of fabric to
That
go
is
through
a
there.
lot of, this is a little zipper.
Yeah, little tiny zipper. So instead what I'm doing is I'm just taking like you want something strong, like an embroidery floss,
Yeah,
you know, that's not going to break. And you just, I don't know if you can see that very well, but you're putting it right through the hole there of the zipper pull. And without tying the knot yet, you're just going to place the fabric right on top, and then you tie your embroidery floss or twine or whatever it is that you want.
Like your heavier top stitching thread would work really
Yes,
great too.
Yeah, a carpet thread would work. I mean, all kinds of
hand
things that you can
quilting.
think of. The hand quilting thread is a lot thicker, right? And go ahead and just, now it's attached, and at this point, you just tie it in a knot.
We're going to be adding these to our jackets, to our...
Yeah.
I just think it just adds just a fun, you know, different element to the bag. And you could do this with all kinds of fabrics and all kinds of projects. Oh, Linda said dental floss. Yeah, dental floss would work really
Yes.
well.
And
Yeah.
then
As
when you're
well.
out and you don't have any, you have some.
Exactly. If you have to,
Oh,
you
wait,
know,
I got a piece in my bag.
So anyway, we have a free technique sheet for all of you today on how to make the fabric knot bow zipper pull. And so again, it's very, very simple, but I do have some diagrams here to help you along. And then of course, you've got the template. So that is free for everyone. And if you make it, show us. We want to see it, right?
Yeah, you're
We
going to be
love
adding
your
them to
pictures.
everything.
Oh yeah, you will be, and
Yes.
it's too fun. Now, speaking of zipper pulls, we have some new stuff that just arrived
Like
that
this
I can't
morning.
wait to show you. Oh my goodness, you guys are gonna love it. Zippers and zipper pulls. Check out these brand new zippers that we just brought in from Sassafras Lane. How cute is that with the stripes? Are you dying,
yeah,
Sandra?
yeah. I'm like looking at those. I was saying to Cheri, those are
Polka
amazing.
dots.
Now you're going to do this, but you wouldn't put your fabric as close to your
Exactly,
zipper.
because you wanna
You
see
want to
that.
see that. But I thought, oh my gosh, I would have taken one of those and put it on my
we have
bag.
them in
It
all.
just keeps coming, guys.
goodness,
It
look at
just
this.
keeps coming. We have
Crazy.
more.
Oh my goodness, polka dots and stripes.
Lots
I mean,
and lots of stripes. Here's a black one with a rainbow zipper.
Ooh, you know, I've always said life is too short for same colored zippers.
Well, here you go. There's all the color
Hey,
zippers.
I've got all the colors right here.
And then
I
black.
need one of every single one of these. I need, seriously, these
Those
are the
come
cutest things.
3 yards in that package. You
3
could
yards come in a
make
package, yeah.
3 bags with one of those. So that would be
So
amazing.
This is the zipper tape. And then we also have zipper pulls. So those are sold separately. But look how cute these are. Oh my
And on
goodness.
this one,
Okay.
you wouldn't need to add this. You would be able to get, it has a big hole for that zipper. So you'd be able
You
to get the
could get
knot
the
through
fabric
it. Yeah,
through there.
you would be able to get through.
Oh, I'm gonna now that these have arrived, I've got to make some. Look how cute. Oh my
little
goodness,
dog
you
paw.
little dog paw.
There's a
And
skull.
A skull. Yep. That's for you,
That's the
Allison.
silver.
There we go.
And then
And the
lightning.
lightning bolts. I mean,
Yeah.
can you see how much fun you can have with these? So love, 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 and love some more.
These are coming from Sassafras Lane.
Yeah.
Is the vendor on these.
We're so excited. So we're going to be carrying the full line of Sassafras Lane hardware and the zippers and all the things. So we're starting to bring in all the things. Look how cute. I mean, okay, come on.
It would
Look
be
at
cute.
that. This
Yes.
is absolutely adorable. Look
Yeah.
at the purple stripes. So
I
like
love the
Sandra
stripes.
said, don't sew it too close
Right.
to the zipper.
That
teeth.
that you just bring that over
So
a
you
little
can
bit
see
so that
it.
you're not right next to the zipper, your fabric.
Goodness,
Exactly.
I'm dying. I'm dying over all of these. I have to have them all. But you know what else I have to have? And you have to have? you're going to want a kit to make the Cheri Poppins bag. And we have 3 different kits to choose from that includes everything you need to make it. So you already showed the different ones,
Yes, we
didn't
did
you?
show 'em.
So the strawberry one I think is so stinking cute. And then I love this, it's like
almost like a
blue
denim.
Essex linen.
Almost like a chambray almost.
Yeah, like a chambray with the stripes and that beautiful floral with it. And then this is the Joanna Figueroa. So you've got your fusible fleece in here. And then you also have a zipper, you have the webbing, and all the fabric you need to make the Cheri Poppins bag. So, you know, it might be something to consider. Once again, let's take a look at the bags so you can see. This one was the strawberry one. So cute for summer. And then this is the fig tree one. Love, love, love. Very, very cool. And then this is that beautiful Essex linen one, which I absolutely love as well. So so fun.
So cute.
So Linda asked, will they be available on comments sold? Yes, they sure will, as long as we haven't sold out. That's
So
the
if you
thing.
have a favorite,
So-
sometimes we get a run.
Yeah.
where people are like, oh, I am getting that one now.
Exactly,
So-
and I wouldn't blame you. So, but yes, all of these items will be available on Wednesday night as well. If you don't want to take your chances, I would just pick it up right now. All right. Well, that is all for us today. Thank you, Cheri, for being our guide and guiding us through this, because you're making me feel empowered with this project
It's going to be
Like I said,
practically perfect.
in every way.
Every way.
All right, everyone, stay tuned with us for the next couple of days, because we've got a lot more to learn from Cheri as well. So in the meantime, have a wonderful rest of your day. Keep doing all the things that you love, and we hope to see you again real soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.